Hi, I'm Mike. I'm with General Acrylics. We handle the AstroTurf product. We're at Scottsdale Christian Academy, and we're taking a look at the AstroTurf field here. This is something called AstroTurf. It's called 3D60. It's got turf, and it's got root zone. It's got rubber infill. We have drainage here. We took care of the whole installation. We pulled out the existing turf that was here and put in the new turf about 8 months ago. This turf gets used about 8 hours a day. It's been used every day, probably 7 days a week since we put it in. They play football here, they play soccer here, they do band practice, they do athletics, they do everything here. And they're really happy with the field. Drainage, and what we have is a 8 or 10-inch culvert that has holes in it. And connected to that, underneath the whole field, is a pond liner, and that drains all the way around. Coloring on the field. There's line markers, and there's also in the end zone you'll see lettering, and part of that is prefabricated at the factory, which is something unique that we do. Part of it is cut into the field in the field, so that we like to do as much of it at the factory so we can have a little better quality control, a little more precise, but we do a pretty good job on the stuff in the field as well.
Turf is 2 1/4 inches, but you could get it at 2 inches. It would be a little bit faster, and 2 1/2 inches would be a little slower. There's all kinds of things you can.
8 hours of play a day, every day, every day. Between playing, band practice, athletics, football training. They play at night here. They rent it for a couple of leagues, stuff like that. So this place is played on pretty much all the time.
And with that kind of traffic on it, what kind of longevity is it?
I'm hoping they should be getting at least 15 years out of this. So that shouldn't be an issue.
When you drag the field, what type of device do you use?
There's this company, SMG. It's got this piece that's probably like 10 feet wide. It's about that big, and it's got like 4 different functions. It's got a rake in it. It's got a broom in it. It's got a couple other functions that you can change the functionality of it. You just drag it behind like a golf cart or a gator or anything like that.
How long does it take you to drag this field here? How long does it take you to drag this field?
Probably about 40-50 minutes.
And what's the frequency you say you do that?
Well, I'd like to see it a little more often than it's been done here. I don't think they've done it since they put it in.
Actually, I told them that at our place, if we had this, the grooming probably wouldn't be a problem. We've got plenty of people who'd be willing to do that.
Yeah.
I just...
But it's amazing.
You make it a little bit more spongier, or?
Yeah, I was telling Bob we could tune the field. This is probably about as soft as you want it to get. But we can make the turf, you can order it, this is 2 1/4 inches. You can get it a little bit shorter if you want, and also we can change the mix of the infill a little bit. We can make it a little bit harder with some sand or whatever, but probably just a little bit shorter, and that would probably be just right for you guys for an infield.
Okay, so
I noticed with this, the highest balls that Carl hit didn't bounce any higher than 6 foot.
Yeah.
Where in the ski, when we played on that field, if it was harder to bounce in front of you, it was going to go 10, 12 feet
Yeah,
high.
that's probably because they probably had a lot of sand in it, and they probably had a lot of sand in it.
Yeah, but it was just a harder surface. I think.
Yeah.
This was nice.
Yeah, and this will stay more consistent because if I remember right, you had some other product other than AstroTurf.
Field turf 2 it was.
I don't care. And what they do is they put a lot of sand in it, and it doesn't have that root zone, so they have to do that.
Yeah, to keep it up.
To keep it up and to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't get the the consistency of this because of that root zone stuff that we have in there.
So you'd recommend infield a little shorter pile?
Yeah, maybe a little bit short. It depends on how you guys are. I mean,
If we get to that point, that's a discussion we've got to have. But this is, I mean, this would be playable.
Well, but the price that you gave us is on this length, or
That's
the length
correct.
doesn't matter?
the length really doesn't matter,
Okay.
but I did give it to you on this price, the longer length.
Is the longer it is, the longer it'll live, or not necessarily?
That's not really in the equation of how long it's going to live.
You'd probably want to start out a little longer than shorter.
We could always cut it, always out.
No, you can't.
Wait a minute, that's a false. That's false.
No cutting in the field.
You can't do that. Don't
No.
tell people.
I know what I'm saying. If you get a longer fiber to begin with, and you're not satisfied with that, can you reduce the size of the fiber?
No.
No. Once it's in, it's in.
Once it's in, it's drainage on the field. It rained last night, rained all day yesterday. It feels fairly dry. This will drain 15 inches of water an hour, the way it's set up, and that's what we designed for you guys also.
15 inches of rain, not
15 inches of rain an hour.
Oh wow.
Hurricane.
So that's twice what our annual rainfall
You
is.
could actually be doing infield on our field today
Yeah.
without any problem. You'd be
Without any
playing on it. You'd be playing on our field
It
today.
wouldn't be on the outfield.
Right.
Right.
It's not in the
And as
outfield.
it-
Rather than it's
Not in the outfield, with the infield.
Well,
3 days.
who cares about the
Depends on
outfield?
how bad it rains.
No, I meant if we just did the infield.
Yes.
If it rains a little bit, the infield's pretty well shown.
Yep.
But the outfield's still probably not so
Not
bad.
today.
No, no.
The outfield's
We
gone.
can always groom the outfield.
So is there additional cost for different colors? Or?
The colors do cost a little bit more than the green because they just make so much of the green. But it's just a couple of pennies a square foot.
And just so you realize, ours would be brown.
Yes.
Just like the dirt.
Yeah.
Right.
It'd be dirt color.
I'd rather have it be grass with our base lines. If we were ever to get to the position where we
Let's get to the point where we
field.
got the project, and
Yeah,
then we
if
can
we
talk
were ever
about
to get to where
how-
the whole field is at.
The lighter the color,
Exactly
the
right.
less it will be hot.
That's correct.
Then I can picture a nice big Sun City West logo in
Oh,
center field,
oh,
just like
yep.
they have out here.
Absolutely.
That's
Yep.
Absolutely.
We could do that.
Absolutely.
Logos. we could do logos too.
Those are free. Those are
You go to
free.
Ace Hardware and
They
get some
throw
spray
those-
paint.
Yeah, that's right.
No. Colored turf.
By the way,
it's
what
all
would happen?
colored.
What would happen if somebody came out here and vandalized?
That would be great. Like I was saying, we have the attic stock, and we just cut in a new piece.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if somebody was to come out and pour acid or whatever it was and just
Right.
ruin it, or paint or whatever.
They have
Cut a
stuff
plug out.
on one of these roofs so that it all ages together, so we can just come in here, cut out the old piece, and put a new piece
What's the additional charge for that?
in. 0.
I got that on tape.
The two-tone cost
It's a little bit more.
a little bit more. Pennies a square foot.
Yeah, it's insignificant for somebody like this. This is what they do.
You know, everybody's asking
Yippy.
questions. Is there somebody that
Bring all this together. Can we funnel it?
He's gonna send me the
Bob
link.
has the information, but he's not good at communicating.
the root system has a little give to it?
Yeah, it has a little give to it.
It's got a little bit of
And we also use a lot less fill because of that. Whereas those fields that you were playing at the other places, they've got like 10 pounds per square foot. This only has like 3 pounds per square
Packed
foot.
hard.
So it makes it a lot more dense and hard on you. whereas this is a little bit softer and more consistent. It should be more consistent.
He's going to send me the information on the lower leg injuries.
Yeah.
Because it was done by Michigan State. So
I can
I
send
want
you
to
the
read
stuff
that.
on the AstroTurf.
Yeah, send me that. Yeah.
So I can send you all that information.
That's fine.
Okay. That's not a problem.
Because
I on the field that people worked on.
What was our bid on the infield?
And it got to 130.
Yeah, something like that.
135.